Okay, so this video right here, if you watch a few of my past videos, then you know exactly the concept of how the video on the achievements go. The issue is the fact that there's something that be lingering that kind of pisses me off, and that's the fact that when you talk to the average person, right, you look on media, they praise Martin Luther King Jr. You know what I'm saying? Martin Luther King Jr. created change. Yet if you actually look into history, people don't actually see the bigger picture here. What I mean is the actual goat of the civil rights movement was fucking actually Malcolm X. Because see, even though Malcolm X did get betrayed by his own people due to other affairs from races and stuff, but Malcolm X, if it wasn't for his movement to fight back after Martin Luther King Jr. was assassinated, there's a bunch of theories that the actual person that assassinated Martin Luther King was black as a nurse and all that mess. But when it comes down to this, right, the back on track to what I can say today. It was when the man fought back, when people fight back, that's when change happens. When they actually fight for what they want. Of course, they were peaceful, but guess what? People don't care if you're weak in this world. Which shows you that pretty much being a weak man don't get you nowhere in this world because guess what? It just gets you pushed around. Now there's ways for a man who is weak to fight back, like guns and spears, and defeat the odds of, not to make a Baki reference, but just like Ejiro Hama. You know, if a man literally like Ejiro Hama existed, God forbid what the hell we'll do. But also as well, I'm finna title this video tackling the stupidity of racism. And I'm also going to be, tackling the stupidity of not only tackling most religions and stuff, because don't get me wrong, I don't know what's on the other side of the world. But here's what I do know. What I do know is when I die, what I'm going to do is I'm going to ask questions. Whoever I see on the other side, hopefully it's not the motherfucker orator, that when it comes down to when I end up having to close my eyes and leave this vessel that we call a body, the first five questions I'll have is why can you get STDs and AIDS from fucking sex? Second one, why did you bring Adam and Eve in the same room? And three, why did you leave Adam and Eve to eat the apple? Why did you even let the apple grow in the first place? And why exactly you allow the apple to grow on the tree? Four, why would you do this knowing that as soon as Adam and Eve eat this apple, this is going to cause humanity to go through, except for happiness and top triumph, you give them other emotions that the devil can play with, which will be considered, jealousy, hatred, and sad. AKA, if you know about any of the sayings, Pandora's box. And five, why haven't you taken measures to prevent Pandora's box and Adam and Eve to take place if you knew exactly how deadly this thing was? Now, of course, if you know me, then you know if you ever seen previously like a few of my extra achievement videos, it'll be the fact that I like to tackle issues that normally on YouTube you would not hear people tackle, due to the fact that they are not willing to actually stand over the crowd and talk out of their mind. Which, I guess you could say this is my way of basically standing out and actually calling a movement because of the fact that, a lot of people that are too scared to actually jump the gun and confront people who is actually, in the wrong, which the whole world is about chasing and hunting down the truth and defending what's right. But given most circumstances, people are not willing to either stray from the crowd or be by themselves due to the fact that they're scared of outcomes and stuff. Which I always said myself, the fucking justice system personally is a joke. The fact that you can literally entrap a man who is innocent just because of a hunch that he may committed a crime, or a hunch that you think that he committed the damn crime is actually stupid as hell. It's shit like that in the justice system where I couldn't be a goddamn attorney and I couldn't be a defense, a prosecutor, because it's like the easiest job in court is being a prosecutor because of the fact that it's really just the defense, in all seriousness, the defense that fucking gets to say something. Like, and the one thing people don't really talk about because not a lot of people are actually telling the truth and actually know what the fuck they talking about. When I've talked to a few people from the EMS line, one thing I'll tell you is the fact that The EMS line will always back each other. The fire department is probably the chillest EMS line because they have to help the paramedic department because the fire department literally would just sit around not doing shit. Which even I can even go on a tangent on this because why the fuck would you send people trained to put out fires to go help the paramedics when they have no medical experience? Having extra people there just makes the scene extra fucking stupid. Mainly when you don't train them for this type of scenario, you're expecting them to know shit. Which is why, again, I have said before, someone did tell me this. This is actually a source. I can't say their name because I like to keep this a little bit more professional compared to my other videos. Like, for example, with me and how I decided I had to go to the option of unemployment. Now, if you know me personally, it wasn't my choice, really. I tried to necessarily, well, not really unemployment, but actually having to rely on the government. If you know me personally, then you know actually I used to work very, very hard at one point. I'm not even joking. At one point when I was doing Uber, I literally worked for 15 hours a day. And when I worked for my store at Walmart, I worked for a year and a half and worked for at least 8 hours. Didn't work overtime because they don't pay overtime. So it's not like I was not going to work. I understand how it feels to work 15 hours, which now in this economy, you have to work at least more than 8 hours or so just to make decent ass living if you don't know how to fucking manage your money. And even if you know how to manage your money, it's getting to the point where, like, for example, one of my friends literally worked 3 fucking jobs. Now, of course, you will say the hours that add up on the jobs matter, which is very true. You can have 32 jobs and still get paid the same amount, given, the hour that you work overtime. But he still has to stay with his mom because of the fact that the economy itself is not meant for a man to stay by himself. And also as well, I was supposed to be sharing a ring with somebody, but I'm not doing it because of the fact that, fucking, how the hell are you going to encourage me to have somebody stay with me? And I know for a fact they ain't going to pay the fucking bills. Just saying. But also, to keep this a little bit more on the other note, the fact that, like, I put this scene right here because this is exactly how the justice system is. If you know Phoenix Wright Classroom, I literally would in a video dedicate myself to actually buying the Ace Attorney trilogy just to replay that scene because guess what? This is exactly how the actual judicial system is. People don't know what the fuck they talking about and they think you did some shit like what this woman's saying right now coming out her bullshit ass mouth. Of course, I'm not sexist, of course. I love women. Yeah, I love pussy too, I'm just a man of culture. But at the same time, same way how this bitch got this man tied up and shit, gonna take this motherfucker to the nearest Diddy room, is exactly what the hell they gonna do to your ass in court, bro. That's just some bullshit, bro. Now, I walked in the courtroom plenty of times. I remember having to defend myself in court, but because my damn attorney was full of shit, the nigga sold out and shit. This motherfucker literally had a fucking mental breakdown and shit. If you probably know how fucking this nigga Phoenix, right, was slamming his goddamn head, slamming his head on the damn fucking shit because the evidence was too strong against him. Yeah, but actually, the defense attorney had a fucking meltdown. But, hey, don't worry. Just because you're a fucking, don't get me wrong. Just because you're a defendant, you do still, in a sense, have a voice depending on what the courtroom is. So necessarily, you don't have to sit here and rely just on your attorney. Like you could also help your attorney out as well, because at the end of the day, it's more of a team effort. Kind of, you know what I'm saying? Like when you're on the defense, you're actually on the hardest side of the courtroom because as the defense, depending on what type of crime you actually have against you and held against you, people automatically just believe some shit. Like if you were accused of rape, right? If you're accused of rape, they having this thing called acid castration. So it's like now if you're an innocent man being accused of rape, you literally would have your fucking nuts just melted off. Because, yeah, this is called justice. This is justice. You get what I'm saying? You're a rapist. You need your acidity balls cut off. Basically supporting the thought of torture if you think about it, but don't get me wrong. I'm not saying I support rape. I don't necessarily believe that rape is something that should ever happen to nobody. But again, I don't believe in things that people are forced to do. I don't believe in things that has to force to happen. But see, I always say this. Why force change if change don't need to happen? Like as my one friend, he's actually a politician. And the best thing for this world is for actual world leaders to not only fight in wars, but also they need to sit here and listen to their people. Because see, if you think you know what's best for people, could you factually back this up? Could you factually understand why this is perfect? Like, this is why I always challenge the concepts of most religions, because it's like, if God really felt that his son was better living in heaven, is he trying to say living is hell? Or does he feel that, because wouldn't it be more encouraging for all his followers to see his son live and save his son? Now, of course, everyone believes in the concept of good and evil, right? But if you know anything about the real world, which I like to reference actually Hunter x Hunter here, for example, the Phantom Truth can be if by other people are viewed as actual murderers and top level killers and stuff. But when you actually do a deep dive on the history onto why they became the type of group that they did, it always starts off with the actual people didn't give a fuck about Meteor City. And they went back to save their hometown that they grew up in, Meteor City. And the people there who are from Meteor City and some gains respect the Phantom Truth due to the fact that they aren't just monsters to be monsters. They don't just go around fucking with people just to fuck with people. They're just their own group of people. And even though they might do things that is considered immoral compared to most people, they at the same time still have their humanity because they don't just go around killing people just to kill people for stupid reasons. Like, for example, I heard this one serial killer that was killing prostitutes, which is like, bro, you're a fucking idiot, bro. Why are you walking around here killing prostitutes? To be one, this job already sucks. But also, too, literally, the point of a prostitute is literally in a replacement for a woman. Like, dude, this motherfucker might not have actually good dating experience because any man who knows or been seasoned in life for at least a few years and now, even if it's like around when I was a lot younger, around 16, 17, like most women nowadays, they are not suitable for sex. Most women barely know how to actually give a good fucking slop job. You kind of get what I'm saying? It just, killing a prostitute is like, man, what the fuck is you doing, bro? What the hell is you doing? Like, don't get me wrong. I know morally it's like, well, bro, what the fuck you care? It's like that. See, that's kind of the problem right now, bro. My bad. Got out of character. That's kind of the problem with society right now is due to the fact that, see, a lot of people are so tangent on only caring about themselves. And to a degree, self-caring is important. But with this same mindset, it's literally poisoning our society. Well, I mean, poisoning our society, I can actually back this up with a fact. So I mean by backing this up with a fact, what I'm saying is pretty much, when you go around here and you only care for yourself and not your people, that's dictatorship. A lot of empires fail due to the fact that there is a dictatorship that happened. Which, if you ever heard about how a few kings have actually fallen, their people went against them because, again, they were tyrants. One thing I can never understand when I look at some countries, right, is if the countries really themselves, if all the citizens were to actually rebel against their governments, there will be change. The United States is a prime example. That's why they want to remove guns. And guess what? What's crazy about the fact that now my stance on the police, I do not really like the police. And of course, I don't believe all police are corrupted, but a lot of the policemen who are part of the police force are corrupted due to the fact that a lot of the people who are part of the police force, they black the blue. You'll never see a fucking video of an actual police officer tasing another police officer. You'll never see a video of a police officer shoot another police officer. You know why? Because of the fact that, again, you'll never see that shit because most police officers, they won't go to that extreme for a civilian. That's just really how it is, man. You just can't with a straight face. You cannot tell me that fucking most of these officers are heroes, bro. Because at the end of the day, man, it's just how it is. Even with the EMS line, they go by majority rule. You know majority rule? That's Phoenix Wright's classroom. These motherfuckers will sit up here and they'll literally tell you straight in your face that fucking majority rule is the best thing. Yeah, I can literally bring up multiple examples. Even now, slavery was started due to majority rule. Taking a native's land was taken by majority rule. Sending a nuke to actually destroy Nagasaki was an actual majority rule that they overruled by rebuilding that same city, costing them more money in the process. And most importantly too, right? Not allowing a black NFL owner was a majority rule decision. So with majority rule not even being backed up with facts, right? Because here's the thing, all of these situations I can explain how they're stupid. Bombing Nagasaki literally puts random civilians in danger. Racism was literally caused due to the fact that this is something that is more of they felt that racism is right. Second, second, right? Majority rule is such a stupid ass concept due to the fact that there's no actual facts behind it. In the actual courtroom, there should actually be facts and actually be reasons behind the decisions that you do. There's no reason why you should bomb the whole fucking base of a Nagasaki just due to the fact that your reasoning be, well, it's because of the fact that what their one government leader did, this is why we should punish their people. That whole concept of you fucking going around killing other people associated with this person because of what one person did is literally the stupidest shit on earth. Like for example, like I remember this before. I was Osama bin Laden's son. Y'all, they literally was trying to kill Osama bin Laden's son due to the fact that he was just his son. But how do you know that his son was going to have the same beliefs as his father? Just because of blood ties relations? Because at the end of the day, if I'm correct, if you were to try to kill someone due to this reasoning, right? How would you feel if someone did the same to you? How do you feel if someone go out of their way and kill the rest of your family because of the decision that you made? Which actually happened before in history, believe this or not. Which is why I believe that there is two forms of justice. And my justice is basically, what's the point of killing without conviction? Because I understand that it gets to a point where you have to kill people to make the world better. Because letting them live, they're going to just keep being a nuisance. Yet if you were to look at today's justice system encourages people with misdemeanors to keep committing the crimes as long as they got money. So then you ask yourself, what is the point of a prosecutor or defense attorney taking the courtroom serious when all they have to do is plead guilty, pay the bond, and walk out? Which is why as soon as you get to this concept and you get so deep inside the damn courtroom game, you just don't even want to do the shit no more because it's a waste of time. And most trials too, if you're selected as an attorney, sometimes takes months until, or even sometimes even like a year before you can actually do your first case. So then it's like, what do you do in the meantime as a starting off attorney when you first, get your certification of do law in the state? You end up having to work a retail job until then anyway. That's if your family don't have money to start off with. So that's just, it's literally the whole concept, man, is fucking stupid shit, man. I factually don't get that. Again, majority rule, I understand for non-important decisions, majority rule should be allowed, but matters that are actual serious that can affect multiple people and multiple outcomes and shit, majority rule should not have fucking place in that. Because EMS literally, the whole emergency law believes that they're doing good because they're doing majority rule while not looking at the facts. Literally, if enough people said you did some shit, the police will blindly believe that shit, and guess what? You're now trapped in either psych wards or you're trapped inside the police station in jail. So it's like, bro, just avoid emergency services. I'm telling you, they're a piece of shit. If you can't avoid stepping foot in the courtroom, you don't have to. Because, again, the actual courtroom is literally a bunch of motherfuckers arguing, and if they go by majority rule. That's why, if I always say this, we wouldn't be a retrial if the trials were done were actually done right. Because of the fact that, you literally could say, somebody, if everybody thinks you commit a crime, you're going to jail. So what the fuck is the point? So God forbid if I actually was an attorney, because goddamn, I probably would have quit my job because how childish the shit was. But again, don't get me wrong, like this new shit that people got going on called unemployment. It's like, more than anything, everybody's dream is to be unemployed from their job, but to still get paid. That's just how it is. Because like, Unless you find a dream job, and a dream job is actually your passion that you like, it's getting to the point now where it's like years ago, there's multiple people that say this, and I'll literally tell you this because when I was a lot younger to be honest, things were pretty expensive, but it never got to the point where it felt as if I had to fucking I had to be so careful with my money to the point where I can literally be on the street. And then too, in all honesty, the excuses were raising rent due to inflation, which again, that's a whole nother story. Now, also, if you watch this video for this long, now I know what you're probably wondering as well. Why don't you play music in the background? All your other videos outside of your channel play music. So, music itself is something I know playing the videos for like retro games stuff. Because again, I like to keep multiple personalities for multiple videos, and I just act like myself, really. So, to be honest. That just to answer that. Another thing is, why do I believe racism is stupid? Oh boy. This is the shit y'all been waiting for. It took damn near what, fucking 21 minutes for me to get to this topic? Okay, here's why I believe racism is stupid. If you listen to everything I had to say before, then you know what I'm finna say. Logically, racism is, if not one of the stupidest shit on earth, because racism is literally a majority decision. Most 9 out of 10 of decisions, a majority rule is fucking stupid. You know why? Because most majority rules, remember, most, 9 out of 10. 9 out of 10 of fucking majority rules have no logic behind them. But I think I say so, and maybe this could. Literally, that's every majority rule in a nutshell. I don't give a fuck what you gotta say. Also, too, racism. The thing that's crazy about racism is the fact that racism is literally the belief of what one person did that you actually believe that everyone else in that race will do the same thing. Now, of course, right? Of course, here's the funny thing. I understand that you can always make stereotypes. I even said racist jokes before, and I do racist jokes all the time because they're jokes. Jokes aren't meant to be taken seriously. If you allow a joke to mentally touch your shit to the point where you believe that a joke is just fucking so heartbreaking, to give your reasoning to why the joke offends you and be done. Most people nowadays are fucking children to the point where they'll just get mad without giving a reason. See, that's the problem with society today. This is why I'm preaching to you in this video today. Because when I die, I'm actually going to challenge God's belief. And guess what? And when he sends me to hell, I'm challenging the devil too. Because why are you punishing the people that do bad? Shouldn't you be praising these people for doing bad? Did God want you to did God want you to be the devils as punishment for those who went against him? Because if you ask me, these are some actual good questions that needs to be answered. So guess what? If I'm sitting, and then night too as well, why are you punishing those in hell for deciding to do bad things when that's all, when bad things is literally subjective? Some people that consider bad is considered good, but without good reasoning, without a good reasoning behind those actions is bad. Like, for example, hunting only becomes really bad when you hunt too much things. The natives do this. But the actual people who invaded the land were, not just white, but in a sense, the Europeans and all the other people that was majority skin color, because there's different forms of white. When they invaded America, all they did was hunt, ruining the land, taking over, and just pissing all over it. So it's like, and I that too as well. I hate to say this because I don't hate to bring race to this. If this is now I'm not going to be racist, but for example, something that I was told, and this actually turned out to be true, is the fact that not to be prejudiced against any poor people. So I'm not going to say black or white, but you might actually know where I'm coming from if you know this. You can guess the race. But basically, for example, I don't want to leave my family, no matter how old I get. Man, this KFC and this Kool-Aid tastes good as hell, man. Shit, I gotta take care of my kids though, but I forgot the milk. What the fuck you mean you gotta be and you think you're successful? Son, if you don't get back in that classroom and start studying harder, next time you're abandoned from this family. Why you don't have your hijab on? You're a woman. No one wants to see all that. If you kind of get on concept just based off of those descriptions that I gave you, you can literally guess the race if just based off of that. Now I'm not gonna get any further with being like, people, because again, me judging a group of people due to the action of what one person did or multiple people did is not logically the smart thing. Because of the fact that you can make stereotypes. Now stereotypes is perfectly fine because again, that's the stereotype that people do. But you can't tell me with a straight face, like literally, racism is so stupid because when you're born, you have to be taught racism. Anything that you have to teach someone to do, anything that you have to teach someone to do, isn't something natural. You naturally just do not hate another race. When you're first born and you look at a person of the opposite skin color, the first thing you get is intrigue, interest. You want to ask them, how did they become like this? How are they different from me? That's literally the first thing you do. You have intrigue. You literally have to find reasons to be racist. And the way that you find reasons to be racist is basically looking at other characteristics that people have and putting it on that person. That's what it takes to become racist. That's how racism is fucking stupid. If you have to go out of your way, if you really have to go out of your way to find characteristics about somebody just to be prejudiced towards them, that is literally the stupidest form of racism ever. Not even racism. Because guess what? Racism is just stupid, period. There's no justification for racism. Because literally the concept of racism is literally a majority rule decision that the majority of people believe that this group or this race is inferior to them because of the fact that this person is not the same color as them. The most childish shit that still exists to this day. And I am pretty sure even the majority knows that back then, the majority of people who are alive today would literally preach their heads off on how racism needs to come back. And guess what? Most of these people preaching this is like Wansler. People like Wansler who want free fucking workers because they want workers to work for free at lower cost. And they'll explain to you factually like that fucking dude from the clipboard. If you ever seen that shit, that means funny as hell. They'll literally explain to you in a whole Billboard essay on how racism is very important for building your business. So you need to bring racism back in your economy so as for small business owners can come back. And guess what? Guess what? You might be looking at me crazy. You're probably even looking at me like, yo, what do you mean by this, right? What I'm saying is basically, with enough reasoning behind stuff, people would literally take a reasoning as bogus as that, literally a reason as bogus as that, and literally try to defend racism. I think this photo's right. Oh, it is. A person would literally sit here and defend racism off of something as stupid as that. So then you ask yourself, why in the fuck do we live in a society like this? Why do we live in a world where living is now becoming hell? Yeah, I always question myself. Maybe living isn't the actual challenge. Maybe it's the people who make living hell. Majority of decisions are made through 10 people in some countries, sometimes even 5. And these 5 people can dictate your whole lives. So then you ask yourself, we always are asked and told as children that these group of people, they know what's best for this country. Is that factually the truth? Are they making the best decision? Is necessarily the decisions that are being made impacting a lot of people? And guess what? Can you acknowledge the fact that there are decisions where, guess what? Yes, these decisions are necessary, but how do we minimize the impact of said mistake or said decision? That is the problem with some decisions right there, which is like, some people will literally go around here saying, well, guess what? There's some decisions where it's like, no matter how hard you try, it's just going to be a problem. And guess what? When I used to play Rainbow Six, actually, When I used to play Rainbow Six, I was a very elite Caviera and a very elite. Who else was an operator? Ella. Because if you know Rainbow Six Siege, and I know this is off topic because this is extra achievement, I'll explain what I'm talking about. Working as a team and coordinating your team is very important. For example, anyone who knows me from my Rainbow Six Siege times, I was a very elite Rainbow Six Siege defender. With Ella and my bad. It was Ella and who else was the operator? Oh boy, I tell you, it's been so long. It's been so long. But basically, to get back on track, in that game, it's heavily reliant on team success. Well, I mean, team success is now the ranking used to be based off of skill, but it's now team success. But I'm pretty sure if I were to go to the game now, I can still keep up with how this generation of players play, due to the fact that again, I still remember the comps like Legion and Ella is a nice duo, and actually Legion and Captain's a good trap duo too, because guess what? Once Captain plays his traps, it can be your anchor, and Legion can be your roamer. Ella after placing her traps, she can roam. Caviera, Caviera was a good roamer too. I used to play Ella and Caviera. I think that was the actual team comp, Ella and Caviera. That me and one of my friends used to run. We used to dominate all of the diamond because of the fact that having two roamers roam together is a lot stronger than one roamer roaming by themselves. That's just how it is. It's better in numbers. But majority of decisions that are made is literally due to 10 to 5 people. Which these did, guess what? It wouldn't be a bad thing for most of these decisions to be made by a small group of people, because of having too many people make a decision will cause chaos. And what I mean is, like, for example, right? Anyone who knows about this strat, if you ever play the game, knows how annoying this is. Basically, if you have a lion skin, right? It's always good to do a lion skin when you're about to push the objective. And a good lion scan comp will be with Dokubi, because Dokubi can give off sound so you can find people a lot easier. See, decisions like that is team coordinated. And guess what? If the decision is smart, and if it sounds smart, then maybe it is smart. Kind of see what I'm saying? So it's like when you think about it, right? A lot of decisions made like that, even though this is a game, don't get me wrong, this is a fucking game, so it's not that important. But at the same time, minor decisions like that, when you get to the higher ranks, it becomes important for you personally. Matters that you don't find important to you don't mean it's actually important overall. That's the thing that's crazy about it, is the fact that people like Monster, like literally people will go around watching the Boondocks laughing and shit. That's literally how a lot of them businesses act. They literally don't give a fuck about just money. Literally, when I used to work, we was told I should give a fuck about the customer. Just do your job. Like Uber, they only care for you. As soon as your car goes out, they don't give you a replacement car. They'll willingly give you their car, but you still got to pay money for their car. You know, you pay gas and but also as well, something else I hate to bring up is the fact that now, of course, right? Of course, I'm not going to say here personally that, I believe that, not a small group of people can make decisions. But if you're going to be making decisions, if people are going to make decisions, they need logical reasonings to why this decision overall is better. Even if they don't like the idea of the decision being made. Because, see, logically, for business owners and stuff, they love the racism. They can justify racism for their company. As individuals, as actual people, we know racism is literally a problem due to the fact that racism is literally something that you have to teach people and preach people. The same way how this is actual picture that I have. And there was this picture that actually, I can't disclose their name, but it's about the idea of religion being used to blind people. Which, guess what? You may argue saying that's not true, but look at every war in history. And look at how people justify racism to this day. They will blindly follow a belief without any reason. Look at the justice system. As a kid, we were praised and told to admire the justice system. The justice system is where those that are wrong are prosecuted and the innocents are free. Yet when you get older, the innocent ones are the ones who have to stay in jail, while the guilty ones get to roam in the streets. Which then you realize if you're poor enough, if you're literally poor enough, they won't even take you to jail. They'll leave you on the street. But if you're middle class, if you're in the middle class, you go to jail. So it's like you encouraging the poor to steal, you're punishing your middle class, and the rich don't even have to worry about jail because guess what? Most people that are rich, they tend to not even have a long sentence. And plus two, 9 out of 10 if a person is rich and they're about to go to jail, they only do that shit just to make a statement, which has to be the most stupidest shit on earth. You're trying to send a message to people by giving them an extra long sentence just to send a message to others saying, well, yeah, this gonna be you if you fuck around and with the justice system. It's like, motherfucker, y'all don't do this shit. Stop trying to show off, bro. Stop trying to give this dude a 99-year sentence. Just give him a life sentence, man. Get the fuck out of here. Fucking cuck. That's why your bitch getting fucked on the side by some nigga named fucking Orlando Shavosky or some shit, bro. But come on, man. Like that should be pissing me the fuck off anytime I see some shit like that. People be like, yo, this man got a 99-year sentence. Man, bitch, get the fuck out of here, bro. I don't want to see that stupid shit, man. Get your bitch ass on somewhere praising that stupid shit. That's basically a life sentence, man. Don't justify that shit, bro. Just say it's a life sentence. Because guess what? If he does live for 99 years, y'all basically ruined his life anyway. That is a life sentence. As soon as he gets out of jail after them 99 years, his family's gonna be gone. And guess what? Who is he gonna know once he's out of jail? He'll rather just stay in jail at that point. Like, come on, man. Like, y'all make, like, I ain't gonna lie, man. Some people be making the justice system more complicated than it has to be. It's like, man, you wouldn't want to be in jail and knowing that you're finna get out after 40 or 30 or even 20 years if you're around 40 or 30. Man, shit, even around 20, knowing that you're finna go in there for 20 to 30 years, you just rather want to sit there and stick in jail. Because, man, what else you want to do once you get out of jail? It's like, that is an actual fucking question I have. What are you gonna do? What the fuck you gonna say? I know it's kind of unprofessional right now for me to say this, but see, one thing, if you know me for a fact, at least from expert G-Man, you might know me as the guy that goes around partying and shit. And guess what? I don't really go out to parties and stuff no more due to the fact that it's like, not only it's too expensive, but see, those of the past, a lot of those people refuse to acknowledge the difference of today compared to then. See, I always say, back then, you could literally make a lot of mistakes. You know, you can really fuck around saying you can fuck around your 20s and your 30s and you will still be fine. But now it's like, you know, your 20s is now just, anyway, still the most pivotal point of your life. Because again, if you throw away your 20s, what you gonna do in your 30s? You know, your 30s gonna be a lot. Even for me, right? It's like, okay, shit, I'm in my 20s and I'm this smart. In a few years from now, I'm still be dead. And guess what? If anybody knows Dragon Quest, you know, that's kind of how it be. Or even in the real world, a lot of good people die at a young age. So those that are still living, the assholes can keep running shit. But in all fairness, though, if I was probably, let's just say, if me and my politician friend, if we would actually run the country, we would probably run the country the best it's been in years. Because again, not only is better if you have to live within the economy that you set, which a lot of people don't know that feeling who is running our decisions now. But a lot of people who actually understands exactly logically reasons for why stuff take place is, you know, probably the best people to make decisions, which is why, even though my belief is when I get to heaven or hell, I'm literally going to ask those 5 select questions, because for something that we have to do to reproduce and add your followers, why in return of us doing this, punish us by giving us STDs? If this is the case, why are you punishing us for creating more followers for you? If we're creating more followers for you, then potentially wouldn't this be a lot better for you as the man who wants to be worshipped? If you believe everyone should be treated the same, and why most people have to just worship you? Can we all walk around considering ourselves gods? By any chance, to be a god, is a god a hero? Because not every god is a hero. Because that wouldn't be the case because there's the devil. Which how come the wrong things that are considered bad couldn't they be considered good if given a justified reasoning behind those actions? You kind of get what I'm saying? Because there was this quote actually that I had gotten from a show, you probably know this. A hero, no matter how dire the situation, he smiled while you faced insurmountable. It had nothing to do with his power. If a person has a heart of a hero, they live just to save other people. Which you ask yourself, is God himself really a hero? We're preached this and told this, that he's a hero. Yet at the same time, if God didn't have his power, would he still be a hero? Because it's not about the power itself that makes him a god. It's about no matter how dire the situation is, he will still challenge the situation. So if we were to strip him of his powers, would he still smile and fight? That is what makes a hero. For example, no matter how far I'm back into the corner in Phoenix Wright's classroom, I still would stand up strong and debate my beliefs behind facts and reasoning. Even if that means at the end of the day I have to sit in the jail system rotting. And guess what too? Now being a hero, right? Now, of course, there's a difference between heroism and stupidity. We all know this. We've seen that. Because see, the smartest decision now is not being a hero. Because in this society, being a hero and being a vigilante is frowned upon. Because the emergency line system will literally punish you for, let's just say if someone breaks into your house and you kill them, they'll punish you for killing the person because you could have prevented that, right? But then if you injure the person, they'll then claim that, the guy can claim that he accidentally stumbled or went in your house, and they'll seriously, literally fucking still punish you for that. Which then you ask yourself, the EMS line is literally a fucking joke. It's literally a fucking joke, bro. Even if you have a camera and everything, they'll still blame you saying you should have did X, Y, Z. Knowing damn well if you were a fucking, let's just say a police supporter, EMS supporter, you'll be like, well, the cops should tase fucking people 10 times. They should shoot 10 people with tasers because 10 of them might not work, maybe 3. Motherfucker, that's still lethal. What the hell are you talking about, dumbass? Literally someone died because of a fucking taser. They say it's unlethal, but, shooting a taser at somebody, that still is fucking lethal, bro. Like, come on. Like, what the fuck? Oh my god. No weapon used to harm somebody should even be considered unlethal. I'm just saying, anything that like taser and shit is literally fucking lethal if given enough voltage anyway. So it's like, come on, bro. And shit, don't even started how these cops look nowadays. They don't even look fucking trained to even stop a goddamn feminist. But okay, my bad. I went on that was a bit off topic. But I ain't gonna lie, she's a baddie. But okay, back to shit. Oh my god, bro. I swear, if you see this shit, I'm fucked. Okay, let me see. Basically, let me get back on track. So when it comes down to that, another thing I want to talk about is the fact that, another thing that why I consider the EMS lines a joke is due to the fact that these motherfuckers will glorify serial killers and they'll sit there and put them on documentaries and tell their stories and all that shit wants to capture them. Like, come on, bro. If that was your family or some shit, you wouldn't even be doing that. Man, get the fuck out of here. Fucking, why y'all glorifying these damn serial killers, bro? These motherfuckers literally have no logic or reasoning behind what the fuck they do. Like, what's the point of killing without real conviction, bro? A killer that has conviction to why he does it is literally a vigilante. Because guess what? There's a reasoning behind why he's doing the shit that he do. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's just fucking stupidity. Just going around killing people just to kill them. shooting people because of the fact that a group of people did you wrong, so you think that whole society is the problem. Like, you can't literally inflict every single one of your fucking mistakes that others have done to you on random people. Go shoot the motherfuckers who did you wrong because they're the motherfuckers that fucked with you. You get what I'm saying? Why are you shooting at innocent people? That is fucking stupid. But okay, my bad. I'm not supporting school shootings and none of that. I still support the whole idea of whooping someone's ass by hand. But it's just fucking that whole concept of just punishing a group of people because of the majority's decision. Why not punish the motherfuckers who made that decision? Why not go storm the motherfuckers who sit here sending out these young men and women and these people in their 30s to war even though they want to fight in the front lines? Yeah, if we were to talk to society about this, they'll swear to God that this is the best decision. More than anything, I literally support allowing people over the age of 40 to actually compete in war. Anyway it goes in experience, war, your experience when it comes down to the military is everything. I don't care what nobody says. I'd rather see people in their 40s and 30s go to war than people in their 20s. At least the people in their 30s and 40s, they already should have experience in life by now. That just, if I was in the military, that's what I would do. Send these motherfuckers out there that look like Joel or some shit and just, or fucking Tommy and just let them go ham, bro. But, let me see something. Uh, Now, okay, I still got some more time on this. No, of course, last time I left off, I did get my car after a month and a fucking half. That bitch sitting up there at the damn Firestone place. Like, if you ever don't take your car up to the Firestone, no matter what location. But okay, let me see here. Uh, and they allowed someone to break to my shit and steal my stuff. But, okay, what was I about to say again? Oh yeah, also something else I like to talk about is the fact that one thing I never understood is like this is literally something that happened. I got blamed because of the fact that someone who was actually their skin color molested them, so they blamed my skin color, saying that it's my skin color's fault. Proceeds to talk shit to me and blame me for the decision that their race did to them. Enough said. But okay. Oh my god, I'm praying. Oh, I'll stop. But okay, oh boy. Okay. My bad for that. I know that just, I can't even focus on the video no more. Okay. In all turnabout though, I did cover everything I need to cover. I did cover like how the price of stuff is going up. It's damn near not impossible to really try to live by yourself, which is something I've been noticing a lot. The price of stuff has gotten to the point where living by yourself is becoming a little fucking hell. But I will say that this is a firm belief I do have, and I actually could back this up. But as long as you don't eat any other candy but just drink soda, your body can literally like survive without actual water. Uh, hey, I'm not sure if this is like, the human body is something else, man. But hey, don't get me wrong. Like, if you want, you can try to experiment yourself. But all I know is this now, like, we're living in a time period now where it's like it's more expensive for you to eat out than no, my bad. It's more cheaper for you to eat out than you to actually cook at the house, which actually been a myth that's been spread for a long time. Because I always say it's always more expensive because you have to pay for the soap, which you could say is one time. You have to use up water. You have to buy the seasoning, which will probably be 1 or 2 times depending on how big the seasoning pack is. You buy a big pack of like, let's just say some Tony Saffrons or something. You buy some Tony Saffrons. After buying Tony Saffrons, you then proceed that you want to cook your chicken. You put it in the freezer, then put it in the refrigerator. Make sure you eat it for 2 to 3 days. Cook it for 15 seconds. Get you some sides. Probably like corn. I don't eat chips because I'm more a Swedish type guy. But to be honest, man, how ones I couldn't do it. That little Smurgle sauce we got. Oh boy, that shit literally was whooping my ass. I couldn't even eat the shit. Man, I felt like I was getting hit with a fucking, I felt like I was getting boxed up and I could eat them damn chips. I couldn't survive how I was. But again, when it comes down to this video, I might accidentally end up probably making this public for a while. But if it's after a while of me having this public, what I'll do is I'm actually going to unlist the video because of the fact that, you know, I like to post some of these videos as a more of a lesson about life, but more of also if I do ever end up dying, you get to see how it is for me. Like, of course, I go by like a facade and say on the internet. The way I tend to act on the internet is a lot different from real life. You know, I don't go around starting fights, fucking with people. But at the same time, you got to keep this in mind. The way that society is now, if you're peaceful, people would take advantage of your peacefulness and keep shoving you until you actually fight back. So it's like if you allow motherfuckers to keep pushing you around, they'll literally keep doing it nonstop and they'll keep fucking you over until you stand your ground. So in a sense, this will be it for the video. I'm not gonna drag this on for an hour. Compared to some of my other videos and talks. Yeah, of course, you know, be on the lookout for any there's this new shit called Hag Maxing, you know, fucking it sounds good in concept, but hey bro, shit. It's no different from older men look for women, but yo, y'all youngins got it, bro. But also, y'all also got this new thing called like what's the new shit? What's the new shit y'all call that? Y'all call it the killer grannies, bro. Bro, y'all, bro, y'all young people, bro, something else. I know I can't say much 'cause I'm pretty much young myself, but come on, man. Y'all can't be. Y'all can't be, man. Y'all can't be. Now, of course, it's been something that happened for years. Younger women going after older men and older women going after young men. You know, young men dreams of an older woman coming to their doorstep and babying them up and fucking making them into a husband and all that shit. But god damn, bro, shit, y'all motherfuckers here, man. But okay. All right. To be fair though, all I gotta say is just actually if you can't make decisions to make the world a better place for not only you and yourself, make reasonable, logical decisions. Think about the impact the decisions do, and after you think about the decisions think about the decisions that you do, minimize the actual bad outcomes that can happen from the decision, and this world will be a better place. And yes, if I do find out that going to hell or heaven is stupid as hell because heaven is too boring and hell is too chaotic for no fucking reason, I'd rather just continue living. That'll be it.